What's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing on this wonderful Friday? I hope y'all are having a great day thus far since we are on the weekend. I hope everybody's doing well. I missed y'all. It's been 2 days since I've been on here, so I had to get on here and tell y'all everything I heard and what I know. Oh, yes, y'all. Wendy Williams got a little bit of word on her, a little bit of tea from an insider about her and that show and about Nick Cannon as it relates to her show. I don't know, it ain't looking too good for Wendy Williams, y'all. I want to tell y'all about Kanye and how his identity has been stolen and somebody has taken money out of this man's account. I'm going to tell you about how Gucci, the designer, not the rapper, y'all, is apologizing now for selling a sweater that looks like blackface. Oh my God. And I'm going to tell you what Spike Lee's response was to this particular incident. I'm going to give y'all an update on Monique, what Monique has said. She's cleared the air on what happened between her and Steve Harvey. I heard it out of her own mouth. Also, I want to tell you about NeNe Leakes, the latest thing I've heard about her. Honey, she done been suspended from Real Housewives. I'm going to tell y'all why in a minute. Also, I just want to say, for Jussie Smollett's sake, I certainly hope that he did not lie and give a false report about what happened to him last week. Because right now, the Chicago PD, even though we know they're crooked and everything, but everybody else in the world, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are looking at the report that he made and they're not really believing his story anyway. They're believing that there are some falsehoods involved in what he has claimed happened. And now the Chicago PD are intending to charge Jussie with if he has made a false report. So if he's not telling the truth, Jesse might be going to jail, y'all. It ain't gonna look good for him. And also, I'm gonna tell you about a new development surrounding Teddy Pendergrass and what's gonna happen with him. Y'all, I mean, not what's gonna happen with him, but what they are doing in regards to him. All right, first things first, so I can get on out of here, y'all. I done snuck out of my job. And I done came to the car so I can give y'all this good tea. Let me go ahead and get Wendy Williams out of the way. Baller Alert released this article or released this statement on Instagram, I guess yesterday or this morning. Somebody sent it to me about 30 minutes ago. It says that Wendy Williams is super scared about losing her namesake talk show as the producers say they want Nick Cannon to replace her permanently. Amid the long-standing confusion surrounding Wendy Williams' extended hiatus from her popular namesake talk show, sources say the gossip queen is super scared about losing it all. She's super scared and anxious, an insider told Page 6, highlighting the success of her stand-ins. Watching Nick Cannon being a huge hit with her audience is tough for her. They're already starting to mess with the format. It's like watching them screw around with her baby. Despite the source's claim, though, earlier reports suggested that Williams was more comfortable with Cannon's appearance as she provided an exclusive update on her health. Meanwhile, other sources said the exclusive admission left producers and members of the production crew pissed off. In fact, according to the Daily Mail, some were so upset that they pushed to permanently replace Williams with Nick Cannon. And y'all, he did do a really good job. Now, from what I saw about 5 minutes of him the other day on the show, and he had on this super tight pink suit with a white turtleneck and some white loafers or some type of white shoes on. Y'all, if he did not look like David Ruffin back when he was with the Temptations the first time, I don't know who he looked like. He looked just like him. I hope y'all got a chance to see that clip because he looked just like David Ruffin to me. But anyway, that's a sidebar. So it's also said it's really sad as you think that Wendy would have more respect for herself and she would stand up, dump her cheating husband, taking control of her business, and empower women who are going through the same thing. And many of y'all in the comment section on my last couple of videos have said the same thing, and I couldn't agree more. This is her chance to be a role model, but she's letting women everywhere down by not being the boss that she pretends to be on her show. The source explained to Daily Mail of the crew's loyalty or lack thereof to the host. Now think about it, she said. Oprah or Ellen never treated their audience and staff like this on their shows. So it's time that Debmar stepped up, said goodbye to Wendy, and Kevin and Nick get Nick to take over. However, if he stays on, we'd happily take Jerry O'Connell. Or if he says no, y'all, they say if he says no, we'd happily take Jerry O'Connell, who is also a joy to work with. This is what this particular source said. So they are saying the same things that we have said about Wendy Williams and her cheating husband, and how she just needs to let go of him, walk away from him by any means necessary, and just take back the control of her show. I mean, of course, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. She may very well be working on something. We just don't know. And I hope that she is, for her sake. But it's not looking good for Wendy Williams, y'all. Those producers, I told y'all on the last video that they're getting sick and tired of Wendy Williams, and they're ready to move on. You know, you hate being in limbo about things. It's like either we're gonna be the Wendy Williams show, or we're gonna cancel the Wendy Williams show and we're gonna move on and do something else. I mean, Steve Harvey could very well get the show as well, so that's still an option too. All right, next thing, Kanye West. You know, he's always in something, but this time it's not his fault. They're saying that he was a forgery victim, and the cost is huge. Nearly $1 million, sources tell the TMZ. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ a guy that Kanye knew secretly contacted Philip Plevin, who is staging a big New York Fashion Week event this coming Monday. Let me put my glasses on, y'all. The guy misrepresented himself to Pline. I'm sorry, not Plevin, Pline. He misrepresented himself to Pline as Kanye's rep and negotiations for Kanye to perform at a steep price. Pline apparently fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and they made a deal wherein Kanye would supposedly pocket 7 figures, and in return, he would perform at the New York Fashion Week show. So this guy called Philip Pline, who is actually staging this big New York Fashion Week event coming next Monday. The guy completely lied and said that he was Kanye's representative, and that he actually started negotiating with Pline as if he had some say-so in what Kanye was going to do. So he offered him, basically told him, yeah, I can get Kanye out there for $1 million, and this man agreed and fell for it hook, line, and sinker, y'all, okay? He says, it gets worse. He says, we are told that the guy forged Kanye's name on the contract and then had a $900,000 advance wired to an account, which the guy promptly cleaned out. Kanye is not performing at the show, and Pline is now out of a pretty penny, y'all. So $900,000 was sent to some bogus account that this man actually stole in Kanye's name. As for the guy who committed the alleged fraud, we're told he's a former friend and an associate of GOOD Music, or Good Music. We have not been able to reach Pline for comment, but it's a good bet that he'll take some sort of legal action. So this man done stole some money from Kanye, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Terrible. That's a lot of money. $900,000 is a lot of money, even for Kanye. Oh, do you know what I could do with almost $1 million? Ooh, what any of us could do. Now on racist news. I'm Gucci, who y'all know y'all love to wear. Y'all love to sport that Gucci, y'all. You know, all the women on Real Housewives of Atlanta love to wear an old Gucci sweater, old nasty Gucci shoe, and some old nasty Gucci purse, y'all. Now, I like name brand stuff too, but come on now. Gucci, let me just tell you what happened. Gucci is apologizing now. They have stopped selling a sweater after blackface criticism. It says Italian luxury brand Gucci has promised to increase diversity after social media users said its black wool sweater that appears to feature oversized red lips resembles historically racist depictions of black people. In a Wednesday tweet, Gucci apologized for the offense caused by the sweater. The top, which has been removed from the brand's online and physical stores, is a black turtleneck that pulls up over the bottom half of the face like a balaclava. Okay, a balaclava, I think. The area around the mouth features what looks like oversized red lips surrounding a cutout for the customer's own lips. And then they issued an apology because they didn't know that blackface images are racist. You know, why do people lie? How can you not know that blackface images are racist in today's society? They just lie. Social media users, particularly those on Twitter, criticized the design, saying that it resembled blackface. And y'all, I don't know if y'all seen this sweater, but the girl that was modeling it in the picture that I saw, she was so skinny and flat-chested, literally, that when I looked at the picture at first and I didn't see her head, I thought it was her back. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but it is a black long sleeve sweater, they say, sort of thin material. And it literally has a turtleneck like collar that goes all the way up, that stretches all the way up to your nose. And on the nose part, this part up here, it's got big red lips on it. And it, of course, it's black, and I think it only comes in black. But it's got big red lips on it with a slit cut out for your own lips. Now, who would wear that in the first place? Now, that design is good for the wintertime when you want to cover up this part of your face. But who would wear something like that with big red lips on it? How stupid is that? And I don't know why they always like to imitate what they think black people look like. I have not seen a black person yet that looks like a blackface character. So who are they really trying to look like? Because it ain't me. All right. But anyway, I'm trying not to get mad, y'all. I got to go back to work, and I don't want to go with an attitude. It says here's many also pointed out the incident occurred during February, which is observed as Black History Month in the United States and Canada. We consider diversity to be a fundamental value to be fully upheld, they say, respected and at the forefront of every decision that we make, they say. We are fully committed to increasing diversity throughout our organization and turning this incident into a powerful learning moment for the Gucci team and beyond. The verdict that I have on that is that they are lying. They did know that it was racist. They knew what they were doing. They can't fool me. So y'all, if y'all keep on supporting Gucci and keep buying their crap, y'all crazy. Okay, now do what you want to do, of course. Do what you want to do. The ladies on Real Housewives of Atlanta will probably continue to do it, but I would never buy anything from a company that would try me like that. Them and whoever it was last year that actually sold some key fobs or something that had blackface or little monkey-like creatures that you could obviously tell that they were imitating black people. There's no way they could get my money, honey. I'd rather shop at Walmart than go and buy Gucci or anybody else that would disrespect me like this. In December, fellow fashion brand Prada stopped selling a line. That's who it was. It was Prada. They stopped selling a line of accessories that featured a character with brown skin and exaggerated red lips after complaints that they resembled blackface, the Associated Press has reported. The controversy also comes as Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, a Democrat, faces criticism for a 1984 photo from his medical school's yearbook page that shows one person in blackface and another in a KKK robe. And that's a whole other story. Now, this man is a liar. I thought he had changed the first time he apologized for being in that picture. But then when he came back and lied and tried to say he didn't know if it was him or not, when it was clearly on his page with his name on it, that tells me he's still a dog and he has not changed. Y'all don't trust these people. Don't be trusting these people. All it takes is one little lie to find them out. All right. Northam admitted to wearing a racist costume in that photo on Friday, but on Saturday, he said he wasn't in the photo. Like we crazy. Several lawmakers have called on Northam to resign, and he needs to. Among them, Virginia's Attorney General Mark Herring, a Democrat, who admitted on Wednesday that he also dressed in blackface for a 1980 college party. Again, why are they always obsessing over us? They always thinking about us. They so jealous of us, they stink, y'all. And I'm not talking to all white people. I'm just talking to the white people that do this. So jealous of us. Herring has also been called on to resign. And they need to resign. And you know why? They can't be trusted. As a black person or any person of color, you cannot trust people that would make jokes and play like this and then have the unmitigated gall to come back later on and pretend like it never happened and to pretend as if people should not be upset or feel some kind of way about it. All right? So, yeah, they need to resign. They can't be trusted. Just throw the whole party away. I mean, just throw every politician they got down there in the trash can. All right? He's been called on to resign. He stepped down as the co-chair of the Democratic Attorneys General Association after releasing the Wednesday statement, according to WWBT. Now, Spike Lee came back and said something about this, of course. He said on Instagram that he's boycotting Gucci and Prada until they hire some black designers, because they obviously think that not having black designers is the problem. I promise you, it does not take a Rhodes Scholar, and it doesn't take a black person to know that blackface is disrespectful. Okay, these people doing this because they want to. That's the whole reason they don't hire black people on their staff, is because they don't want the resistance from the black people, because they know when they create this mess, the black people there are likely, not all of them, but they're likely to object to these designs. Okay, so I don't know what's the point of saying hire black people when clearly they were doing what they wanted to do. Anyway, this is what he says. He says, I, Spike Lee, Spike Lee, of sound mind and body, will no longer wear Prada or Gucci until they hire some black designers. To be in the room when it happens. It's obvious to the peoples, and y'all, he's really talking like Sambo on purpose here. He says to be in the room when it happens. It's obvious to the peoples that they don't have a clue when it comes to racist, blackface, hateful imagery. Wake up, you dig? Show enough. And that's the coonery and buffoonery truth, Ruth. That's what he said. Now, the Shade Room is saying here, Gucci has been in the hot seat after causing an uproar over a turtleneck that resembles blackface. It doesn't just resemble blackface. It is blackface, y'all. So since then, they sent the internet into a frenzy. The brand has since apologized for offending anyone with the sweater. That apology unaccepted, not accepted. Apology denied, okay? Like bad credit. That wasn't enough for Spike Lee, as he has vowed to boycott Gucci and boycott Prada until black designers are hired. Spike took to IG to let it be known that he will no longer wear Prada and Gucci until they hire some black designers. So, y'all, I don't know. I think people need to follow suit with that. I would not. They couldn't get my money. You know what? If they don't understand nothing else, if people don't get nothing else, they understand the power of the mighty dollar. All right? And when they start losing it, they'll get it then. That is why the bus boycott was so successful in 1955, because the city lost a lot of money behind it. All right? So y'all need to watch where your money goes, okay? And I'm not talking just the black people. The white people that are offended with Gucci shouldn't buy their crap either. But I'm going to move on. Mo told me to tell y'all that she wanted to clear the air about what y'all was saying about her and how y'all lied on her when she was on Steve Harvey's show the other day. This is what Monique had to say on her Monique and Sydney's open relationship that aired, I want to say, Wednesday. I heard it out of the horse's mouth, y'all. But the first time I heard the report was actually mentioned was on Layla Lynn on YouTube. I like her. But she actually brought it up about Monique and what Monique had said. On Periscope, I think they do their show, her and Sydney. And it says here, the Jasmine brand actually made the report first. And I went on and I listened to Monique myself. The Jasmine brand exclusively reported that an explosive confrontation took place on the set of comedian Steve Harvey's daytime talk show, Steve. Okay, sources claim that this week, comedian actress Monique and Steve sparred in a fiery argument. We're told that the Oscar award-winning actress was on the show to promote her Las Vegas residency show. Allegedly is a great word in this case, things got so heated that she threatened to get physical with Steve. We're told that the disagreement was sparked while the pair were discussing Monique's controversial comments about Whoopi Goldberg, Tyler Perry, and others. As previously reported, Monique recently referred to Whoopi in an interview as the help. Allegedly, Steve told Monique that she needed to apologize to Whoopi and others that she publicly slammed, sources tell us. Steve said she needed to apologize. Allegedly, the altercation nearly turned physical. She threatened to hit Steve in the face, they say. He told her that if she hit him, her husband would have to come out and square off. Okay? We're told that the cameras were rolling during the heated conversation, but no word on if the spat will air. No further details have surfaced on the alleged altercation on the Steve set. The episode will allegedly air in the coming weeks. Now, y'all, when I first heard that report, the first thing I said, and I think I told y'all this last week, I said, that don't even sound right. Now, I know Monique is a mess. She's very verbal and she's very bold about what she says, and she doesn't backpedal and coochie pop on nothing she say. And that's one thing I like about her. I like people that say what they mean and mean what they say. Whether you like it or agree with it or not, they say what they mean what they say. And they don't backpedal for nobody. I don't like that. I can't stand scary folks, okay? Say what you say, mean what you say, and stand in it when somebody confronts you with it, all right? Well, I said, something don't sound right. I know Monique is a mess, but one thing I do know about Monique is she knows how to conduct herself in public. So there was no way they were going to get me to believe that Monique actually went on this man's show, sat on his stage in front of all those people, and actually got into an argument with him and almost got into a fight with him and threatened to hit him or slap him in his face. So I went and pulled up the show from Wednesday, Monique's and Sydney's open relationship, and I heard her. That was the first thing she talked about. She said, somebody actually called and asked her about it. And she said, to address everybody, she said her and Steve were joking around with each other like they do, because we know they know each other. They have comedy history. We know that. She said they were joking around with each other. And They got to talking about what went on in the past because he asked her questions. And she said she never said that she would slap that man in his face. Because they go back and forth. They banter and play around with each other all the time. She said she never used the word slap. She never said she would slap him. What she said was, I'll punch you in your face. Now, I can hear her saying that in a joking manner, which is what she admitted. That's what she said. She said, I told him I'll punch you in your face. No, she said, I'll punch you in your mouth. And if you don't believe me, I'll go and look up their open relationship on YouTube and look at February 6th's date. That's the show that she talked about. And hear it for yourself if you don't believe me. She said that, and y'all know Steve hadn't said anything about it as far as I know. If I missed it, y'all please let me know in the comments. But he hadn't said anything about it. And I definitely was not going to believe the report of one strange person that say they saw it without getting 2 or 3 more witnesses. Even the Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, things shall be established. So I wasn't going to take the word from just one person. I need to hear a couple of people say it. Plus, I need Steve to confirm it. All right. But Monique answered it. She said it did not happen. She said her and Steve were joking around with each other. And I hope they left that part on the video so that we can see it, or so that people can see it, because I don't need to see it. I believe what happened. It ain't even necessary for me to see it. But I do believe that is what happened. I believe they were joking with each other, and she told him, man, I'll punch you in your mouth. Okay? And that's what she said. So, yeah, y'all, it's just a false alarm, all right? False alarm. All right, NeNe Leakes, honey. NeNe done got in trouble with Bravo, and it must have been really bad for them to suspend her for 1 episode. It says here, and suspend her without pay. Yeah, it must have been really bad. First, I saw this on the Celeb Rack that is actually hosted by somebody named Miss Ashley Hill, I believe, who I like as well. And she pointed to a Radar Online article, I believe. No, it was a Media Takeout article. And I know you can't believe everything Media Takeout says, but I've seen it since on several other media outlets, so I know it's true. It says NeNe Leakes was suspended from the Real Housewives of Atlanta for fighting, and aggressive behavior, MTO News learned. Bravo just released the new mid-season trailer for the top-rated Atlanta Housewives show, and it was explosive, they say. It says the second half of the season has a bunch of interesting storylines. For example, Candy's dungeon party brings out the freak. Her dungeon party brings out the freak in Cynthia Bailey, and Shamari seems a bit touchy-feely with Eva Marcille. But the most explosive part of the show surrounds housewife NeNe Leakes. NeNe is still nursing her husband, Greg, as he recovers from cancer. And she's talking about divorce, y'all. The preview also shows a scene where NeNe is seen taking her frustrations out on her closest friends, Marlo and Cynthia. Not just her, but also on the other girl. What's the new girl's name? Tanya Sams. And eventually NeNe turns violent. The preview ends showing a physical altercation between NeNe and a cameraman where NeNe appears to attack the cameraman, grabbing his shirt and ripping it. As MTO News reported in the past, Bravo has a zero-tolerance policy towards violence. Written into all of the Atlanta Housewives contracts is a clause that allows them to be fired on the spot for violent or aggressive behavior. So we reached out to Bravo executive and asked whether NeNe was disciplined for her violent outbursts or whether she would be fired for her violent outbursts. The exec, who asked to remain anonymous, told us that NeNe was disciplined for her behavior. He explained that NeNe was suspended for 1 episode, and that is without pay. Now, NeNe currently makes, y'all check this out, $200,000 per episode for each episode where you actually see her in it. So that attack cost her a pretty penny. $200,000. $200,000 per episode. So that means she's making about $3.6 million a year, somewhere around there. Oh my God. But don't worry, NeNe's suspicion is over already. Her suspension is already over and will still appear on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The insider explained it was handled and it's over. We've moved on. So NeNe done got in a fight with somebody, and y'all, you know, we can make excuses all day for the fact that Greg is sick, which I'm sorry for, and I hope he recovers from this illness that he has, this cancer. But there is no excuse for a grown 50-year-old woman to act out like NeNe is acting out. There's no excuse for that. It's people that go through worse than her that don't cut up like that. This is just an opportunity for the real NeNe to come out. This is her real personality. You know, they say when you in the fire, the real you is burned out of you. And that's what y'all are seeing. Now, that's what they are seeing. So NeNe needs to get it together and be thankful she's not the one that's sick and that she's able to take care of her husband. I don't care how he's acting. She's just going to have to be grown about the situation, okay? Anyway, and I count on NeNe all right to me on the show. show. I think she kind of, at one point, she made the show. You know, yes, I do watch it. But she needs to stop this. She really does. Okay, Jussie Smollett, honey, you better, Jussie, you better be telling the truth or somebody going to jail. What a tangle web we weave if at first we try to deceive. It says here this was released it. Who released this? I don't even know what this article, I forget where it came from. But anyway, Jussie Smollett is in the hot seat after there have been several reports that the openly gay actor may have possibly filed a false police report. If that's the case, the Chicago Police Department promises to charge Smollett for making a false police report in regards to the alleged hate crime perpetrated against him on January 29th. The investigation is still ongoing, but with the Empire actor refusing to hand his phone over to authorities, the 36-year-old actor will have a hard time proving his case and avoiding jail time as his alleged assailants have managed to do. In the meantime, Chicago PD Superintendent Eddie Johnson vehemently states on social media that if Smollett is found to not be telling the truth, he will be charged. Now, they keep trying to use the phone as an excuse. Now, I don't really blame him for not turning over his personal phone. I mean, God knows. God only knows what's in that phone. The pics. Can y'all imagine the pics and the text messages? Ugh, that's in his phone. But nonetheless, they are his. They are his personal business. But can't he just turn over the phone log for that night that he says he was attacked? That's all they got to do. I mean, the courts can actually subpoena the cell phone company and get them to print off and run a call log. That's all they need is the call log to see if he was actually on the phone with his manager that night. I mean, that's all they need. They don't need his phone. All they need to do is get the call log from him. That's all they've got to show him. So I don't know what that's about, y'all. Because, again, I understand why he doesn't want to turn on his phone. I wouldn't want his phone if I was them. But anyway, the Chicago Police Department has subpoenaed his phone records per a friend on the force. This came from some young lady named Emily on Twitter. Then someone named Raffair said that the CPD Superintendent Eddie Johnson says that Smollett is still being treated as the victim in this case, but if the investigation does reveal he made a false report, he will be held accountable. Now, I read somewhere, I saw in a couple of places that those two men that they were looking at as particular people of interest that may have attacked Jussie, they said that they come to find out that these two men were actually two homeless men. Okay? Two homeless men walking that night, minding their own business. And when I saw the still photo, that's exactly what they looked like. I can't see their face, but they look like two men just walking. Okay? So, but anyway, who knows, so that's one thing that they did find out. So I don't know. I know the Chicago PD can't be trusted necessarily. We know they're crooked. We know that they're crooked. But again, his whole story, this rope situation, that rope that he's saying somebody put around his neck, I don't know. They're saying it looks like it came off some item of clothing. I don't know. I just hope Jussie is not lying. That's all I got to say. All right, the last thing I want to mention, is here, the first look at Teddy Pendergrass. If you don't know me, Trailer, now, you know what, my folks, the women in my family, my uncles, let me tell you, they love some Teddy P, honey. All my aunt talks about is Teddy P when he wore that white suit with that big white hat. Love some Teddy Pendergrass. I like Teddy Pendergrass, okay? When he was with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and then when he went solo and everything. I wasn't old enough. I was a little girl when all this was going on, but in the 80s and whatnot, but I still love his music to this day. But it says Showtime is telling the story of Teddy Pendergrass in a new documentary. If you don't know me, follows the rise and fall of the iconic singer, famously known for his sultry lyrics and signature good looks. Heralded as the first black singer to record 5 consecutive platinum albums, the trajectory of his budding career was quickly altered when tragedy struck him in 1982. A car accident left him paralyzed. He was only 31 years old. He died in January of 2010 of respiratory failure at the young age of 59. For years, Tyrese has been at the forefront of telling Pendergrass' story on film, even buying the rights to his life story. He told George Lopez in 2010 how the two got so close. Watch the entire video to watch an incredible tribute to the late singer. So if you were to go to, I want to say Media Takeout page or something like that, or I'm not sure, if you go online, you can actually search for a trailer to this documentary called If You Don't Know Me. And it is about Teddy Pendergrass, the life of Teddy Pendergrass. And you can actually watch it. And I hope Tyrese I know he done bought the rights, but I sure don't want to see Tyrese play Teddy Pendergrass. I don't think I can handle that. I'm sorry, I don't dislike Tyrese, but I do not want to see him play Teddy Pendergrass. They can find somebody else better than him to play Teddy Pendergrass. That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. I don't hate the man. I don't love him either. But they need somebody else that remotely sounds like Teddy P, can move like Teddy P, is as tall as Teddy P was, and that resembles him just a little bit, y'all. They can. I'm sorry, Tyrese. I know you want the attention, but find somebody else that can do it better, honey. You done bought the rights. Just go ahead on and produce it, make your money back, and leave that alone, okay? Anyway, because you don't want to mess up something like this. We don't want to mess up perfection. Teddy P was perfect. Don't mess him up. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you for listening to those that have watched. Y'all have a great rest of the day. And when I get some more information, if I find out some more juicy tea, I'll come back and I'll bring it to you. So y'all take care, and I'm going to get out of this cold air. You know, I live in the dirty South where the weather is temperamental. It was like 70-something yesterday, and today is maybe 50, and the wind is blowing, so I'm cold. That's why my neck is wrapped up. Yeah, it gets all the way real here. I mean, it ain't like Chicago. You know, I'm thankful. I'd rather have this than the Siberian weather in Chicago. But, yeah, this can be kind of stressful on you, this bipolar weather that we have down here in the dirty South, y'all. But anyway, y'all take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.